Hello there. I'm Matt Budd. I'm the chairman of the Financial Executives Networking Group. And today's Power Talk is going to be on our member directory search feature. Our website is grounded in a 34,000 membership database. We have 7 people who are administrators with our organization who maintain and update our membership database. Unlike many other databases you might use out in the world, ours is a continually self-healing database because all of our members on a frequent basis are surveyed as to whether they have any changes in their directory listing. The purpose of which is to ensure that it is as useful to you as possible. So without any further ado, I'm going to share my screen and we're going to go through the process of using our member directory search feature. So you start by signing in. We're going to go to member login. We're going to sign in. If you don't have a username and password, your username is the email address at which you receive your evening newsletter. And if you forgot your password, you just click right here on your screen and you'll get an email to this address, which will allow you to set up your password. I've already got mine set up. I'm logging in. And when you log in, you come to your dashboard. That's the first place you'll be. And on our dashboard, there are 2 easy ways to get to our member directory search feature. The first way is this button right here under your networking contacts. These are people who have signed in recently who are in your special interest groups. So if we just click on member directory search, we come up with this screen you see in front of you. The other way to get to this exact screen, we'll go back to our dashboard, let it set up, go to membership, right next to the donate button, which I hope you'll take a shot at using our donate button as well. We just click on member directory search. This form is identical to the one that you filled out when you joined our organization. If you don't recall, the first box here is an easy search box. It looks at your work history. It looks at your firms, which have been entered into our membership database in reverse chronological order, followed by your schools, where you went to school, MBA, BS, PhD, whatever. There's one field that has this information. And if you are looking to contact people who have worked at some firm, this is the box to fill out. Your personal information, first name, last name, nickname, and email address. So if somebody's written to you and you want to look them up in our membership database, and you have their email address, that's probably the quickest way. Of course, you can also fill in their first name and last name. The first name box is their given name. Then we come to our work information. So if you're looking for somebody who is currently working at some firm, this is the section to use. Their title, you can perhaps look up all the chief financial officers, all the controllers, given some search you're working on. And of course, company names. We take great care in preparing our membership directory, trying to get everything spelled correctly. And then, of course, your home information, country, which you have to fill out first, and then state, street, city. You don't need a street address. You don't need a city address. You can fill them in. It's one of the factors that will narrow your search. Again, it depends on what you're looking for. Let's assume somebody has called you. You can also look up their phone number. So my phone number, absent, just to give you some idea of how this works, if you were looking up a phone number, you could look up just the last 7 characters. So my cell phone is 820 dash, make sure you put in the hyphen, 4667. And if you look me up, search, you'll see that I have 2 listings in the FENG with different email addresses, but you can see that I come up. Okay, so we go back to search again. So again, examining the various fields in our membership database search feature, The most important one is to narrow searches is records updated after. We have 34,000 members in various states of repair or disrepair. We do survey our membership 3 or 4 times a year. You are looking for people who have most recently updated their directory listings. If you're getting too great a result from your search, narrow it to the most recent year or 2 records updated after. If you think about it, these are people who are actively engaged in our networking group and are most likely to be truly available to you. You can also narrow searches based on chapters and special interest groups. For the most part, you want to look at the intersection of all data. So you want to find members that match all the fields you've selected. This is a way of narrowing it down. We don't allow the downloading of more than 100 members at a time. So as you do your searches, you'll find there's oftentimes quite a few more that you might contact. But generally speaking, even if you had this in an Excel file, which it is not possible to create from our membership directories, you can use the tools that are available to you and narrow your search to something reasonable. You can't really speak to more than 100 people, and that's why we picked that number. A long time ago, we allowed the downloading of our entire directories for chapters and special interest groups, but we have grown so large that no matter how you would set up your tool, this tool is much more effective. So we're going to start with an easy search. We're going to type in the name of a firm that I know will get a lot of hits. It's an accounting firm, PricewaterhouseCoopers. Now, I'm putting it in that way. It could be also PwC. So, when you're thinking about firms that you are going to look up, they may have been spelled different ways at different times. We try to adopt conventions. We try to make sure the listings are correct, but still firms keep changing their names, and sometimes you'll get hits searching on various variations of company names. So we'll first start with PricewaterhouseCoopers, and we're just going to search the entire FENG database for just PricewaterhouseCoopers. So we do search. Now you see you're only looking at the first 100 records. So if you scroll down, you see it's just the A's and the B's. Okay. So there's a little over 1,800 members of the FENG who have worked at PricewaterhouseCoopers as spelled. So we're going to search again. And this time we're going to again fill in PricewaterhouseCoopers. And we're going to go here. And I live in Connecticut. I'm in the Westport chapter. So we'll see how many people in the Westport chapter have worked at PricewaterhouseCoopers. So we search again, we get 113. So we've very much narrowed it down. We're still over by 13, but that could be okay. Depends on what you're looking for. But we'll search again. And this time we'll search for PricewaterhouseCoopers. We'll look for, we'll again go to the Westport chapter. And this time we're going to look for people who are in the Westport chapter, but actually live in Connecticut. So under home information, we're going to select the state, and we're going to do Connecticut. Okay. So if we search again, there's only 87 people who have worked at PricewaterhouseCoopers, are members of the Westport chapter, and actually live in Connecticut. There are certain chapters of the FENG that are somewhat aspirational in nature. And as a result, there are people who don't live anywhere even close. San Diego is the one that comes to mind. So we're going to search again. And this time we're going to look for PricewaterhouseCoopers. And we're going to narrow the search even further. I'm going to look at home information again. I'm going to select the country, United States. I'm going to select Connecticut. But now I'm going to look for people who are actually in Weston, which is where I live. And again, I will search. So none. That I must have done something wrong. We're going to search again. PricewaterhouseCoopers. We're going to look in the United States. We're looking in Connecticut. We're looking in Weston. And if we search, now we get 3 people who live in Weston, who have been have worked at PricewaterhouseCoopers, and they're in the state of Connecticut. All kinds of ways to do your searches. So let's do PricewaterhouseCoopers again. And this time I'm going to show you the records updated after tool. So again, if we do just PricewaterhouseCoopers across the United States, we have 1,841 members who have worked at PricewaterhouseCoopers. We're going to search again. This time we're going to put in PricewaterhouseCoopers again, and we're going to use the records updated after tool. So we're going to go back a year. You can go back 2, you can go back more. It depends on what your, you can play around with this tool. I will appeal to your inner accountant. All searches are free. So you can run as many as you want. Your goal is to develop an inner circle of friends. If you've heard me say it once, you've heard me say it 1,000 times. The ticket for finding another job is networking, networking, and more networking. So by using this tool, you'll be able to find like-minded people who can help you with your search. So we've narrowed it down to 214. We're going to search again. I went back a year. So we'll go back just 6 months. We'll go back records updated after. So anybody who has updated, let's say since September. Okay, September 1st, PricewaterhouseCoopers, search. Okay, so now we have 157 people. So obviously the people at PricewaterhouseCoopers have been very diligent about updating their records. Out of 1,800 roughly, 150 have updated in just the last 6 months. So we're going to do a search again. This time, we're again going to look for PricewaterhouseCoopers. We're going to look in the United States. We're going to look in Connecticut. Okay. And we're going to look for people who are in professional services. That's one of my backgrounds. Okay. So again, this button here, match all fields, you're looking at the intersection of all data. We'll search again. So now I have 15 people. Okay, well, 15 people you can talk to, and they live nearby. I can look at them. So now if I download a directory, that's the next step. And we're going to open it up. Now, every directory has this title, right? So once you create a directory and save it to your hard drive, what I want you to do is rename it with something meaningful if you're going to keep it, okay? So you can title it, Connecticut PricewaterhouseCoopers. Be inventive. So I'm going to move this over to the screen we're viewing. And this is briefly what a directory, a membership directory report looks like. It's a Word document. It is not sortable. It is searchable, but not sortable. The reason we don't make it sortable is that we want you to truly consider anybody who you're going to be networking with. And in that way, you'll have a more meaningful conversation. So you can write to Doug Benson or James Beloga. I can't pronounce all of these names, but that's okay. And you can write something meaningful to them. I see you're with PricewaterhouseCoopers. I was too. I see you worked at Fidelity Investments. You can come up with something from the directory listing to personalize your message. And that's why we do this, okay? So we're gonna, again, we've downloaded this to our computer. If you don't download it, if you found results that you like and you don't download it, it's going to disappear. So what you want to do is download it each time. And in that way, you'll have it and you can work with it. Kind of a workup document. All right, so we talked about this field here is very powerful. It's searching everybody's notes field is what I call it. and you can search for any arcane firm. I would assume that almost everybody has worked at some firm where you've worked. I worked at the Thompson Corporation at one time. Now it's corp, not corporation. We do that abbreviation. So we're going to look. I want people who are in the New York City chapter this time. I go down here. So I have 9 people who have worked at the Thompson Corporation, and they are in the New York City chapter. Now, oftentimes you will know people. John Walensky, for example, he's in the New York chapter. He's actually in Florida. I didn't know him when he was at the Thompson Corporation, but I've had many conversations with him because we have some shared experiences. And that's what you're really looking for. So now, again, if I download the directory, I open it. Now I have a wealth of information about all these people. So we'll focus on me. You can see the firms where I've worked. You have my email address. You have my phone numbers. The reason we publish all this information to each other is that we trust each other. And hopefully no one in our group will abuse this information. When you write your notes to people, be sure and write something from their directory listing that's meaningful so that they know, you know who they are, that you've taken the time to figure out who they are. And again, you have their email address, you have their phone numbers. I recommend always sending an email first and attaching a copy of your resume. You'll find that's a very effective way of getting to know people and getting them to talk to you. Time is the one thing we can't make more of, and time is very limited on a networking call. If you spend 5 minutes or 10 minutes discussing your background when you could have sent me your resume, you're wasting everybody's time. So try to do that. Our tool has endless variations. There's just no limit to the possible combinations and permutations. You can look for people who are in, for example, my 2 backgrounds, media and professional services. You might want people who have done both, right? And just to limit it, we're going to go back a year. Now, I don't care in this particular context whether they're local, as an example. So I go back a year, and then I do a search. So there's 121 people. Surprise, that's nice. So people who have been in both publishing and media, which is, in my world, advertising agencies, engineering firms, law firms, people who've been financial officers at those firms. That's professional services. But just about anything will do, and you can download this kind of a directory and study it. So search again. There's, again, any number of ways you can do this. So let's look for people who are in the New York City chapter. New York is a media town. So we'll go to New York City. We'll go to media. We'll go to professional services. All right, so now we're looking at the intersection of all data. The intersection of all data. The FENG is big data. So if you look at the intersection of data, I'm not even going to put a records updated app on this one. I have 300 people. I guess I should have. So we'll search again. And we'll go again to New York City. We'll look for people who are also in media, also in professional services. And this time we're going to go back a year, because I only want to look at people who have recently updated. Again, they're more likely to really be around and engaged. Okay, so now I've got 49 people. 49 people you can easily network with. So we download the directory. And again, I would encourage you, anything that's even close, download it and be sure and rename it so you know what it is. I also recommend putting a date on it. So again, we have a list of people. We can scroll through. We can look for people we might know. Hopefully, if you've done one on companies where you've worked, there may be people that you know. There may be people who know of you. And there may be people, certainly when you contact these people, you know people in common. Steve Parks, for example, is a friend of mine, lives in Stamford. He's been somebody that I've been trying to help with his search. So all these things are very helpful. And there's John Walensky again. So all these people are people that you can reach out to. Okay, so I try to keep my power talks for the FENG to 15 minutes. I think we're about at that time. I hope you've found this discussion. I'm going to stop my sharing. I hope you found this discussion of our member directory search feature useful. And if you have any questions about how to use it, or if you've gotten some strange results, you are welcome to call me. We spend a tremendous amount of money maintaining our membership directories. They are there for your benefit, and they are the most powerful tool on our website. I hope you'll take advantage of it. And again, if you need me, everybody knows where I am. Just look at the bottom of the newsletter. My outgoing signature is there, and I would welcome a call from you. I always look to be helpful to our members, and I'd be delighted to hear from you and see your reaction to our member directory search feature. So let me wish you a good balance of the day, and hopefully you'll have a great time using our member directory search feature. Take care.